Don't overthink things. Just put yourself out there and do it. Don't be afraid to look bad. Don't be afraid to fail, because that's how you learn. If you have aspirations of doing something great, which a lot of people do, you've got to surround yourself with people that are going to help you. In mortgage, it's obvious. You got to get with the right teams. You got to get with the right people. You got to get coaches. I had to do that climbing a mountain too. I had to get trainers and people. I had to think through this whole thing just to get to the top of this mountain. And when I went there, I had 40 porters and 5 guides. It wasn't like
not by yourself.
I was by myself the whole time. And I think to do a large amount of production, you got to have that team around you supporting you all the way.
Hey guys, Wally Elibiary. All right, so what is 24/7 mindset? Most times when you hear 24/7, you're thinking what? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just grinding, hustling. I learned over time, a 24-year career in mortgage and multiple other businesses that I own, is unfortunately, you'll get burnt out. I became an absent father, I became an absent husband, and I became a poor business leader because I was trying to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to build a business, maintain a business. When I learned how to work smarter, not just harder, by doing things the best way it could be done, instead of just simply doing my best, I learned how to work only 24 hours a week, 7 months a year, while I got paid from the business residually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can do the same. Welcome to the show. All right, guys. It's Wally Elibiary, author of 24/7 Mindset. And I've got hopefully a good buddy. Like John and I barely know each other. We know each other from social. And today was the first time I ever met him. But what I want you to understand by the end of this meeting, I'm going to feel like I might know a lot about John and then grow a friendship with him and hopefully become a golfing buddy with him. But one of the biggest things I want everybody to kind of understand is you as a loan officer can do the same thing with a referral partner. You as a loan officer, I literally just reached out to him on social and said, dude, I think you're a badass guy. I think you're cool. This is what I like about you. I love your message. Let's jump on a podcast. And what I want you guys to understand is he could have rejected me. He could have come back and said, dude, blowing you off, not interested, but have the bravery to reach out. So John, first of all, thank you for doing this, but what made you want to say yes?
I think I try to say yes as much as I can. And kind of my philosophy is say yes until you have to say no. Okay. And that just go through the doors that keep opening and see what happens. And you never know. Until you go sit down and meet with people. Honestly, I could sit back and say I have maybe a preconceived notion about you. Okay. Maybe I am interested or not, or I could overthink all that. Or I could just say, let me go find out and meet Wally and see. We've gone in this industry side by side, like you said, but we've never really sat down and talked.
Well, I think it's cool to connect, but it's also it's a little nervous. It's almost like a first date or something. Is he going to reject me? Is he not going to reject me? Are we going to bond? And what's awesome is I saw you literally 3 minutes ago in the lobby and we're already talking about golf and we're going to dig into it. Yeah. And I'm excited to kind of share about that and to kind of learn more about you.
Yeah, it's great. I love how you frame this because talk about prospecting, all you're doing is prospecting. Yeah. And a lot of people are challenged with it right now. How do you get people to answer the phone? And what you did is what we've been talking about is you actually direct message people and ask for permission and then you can talk or meet. Yeah. People aren't answering the phone when you call nowadays. So it's hard to cold call.
You got to give them a reason to want to answer the phone. And if I can emotionally connect with you, or I think you made a post or something, I'm like, dude, this is an awesome post about something. Or then it was interesting to me. I'm like, okay, so there's a common denominator. Right. I started watching more of your feed and then it became, okay, I'm going to reach out to you because I'm intrigued by this guy. I'm intrigued by John's message. I'm intrigued by the perception that he gives on social. So maybe I can learn something from John. Right. And then that opened the door of us connecting. Yeah. It's no difference to the biggest realtor in town or the biggest, if you're a mortgage recruiter, the biggest loan officer in town or the biggest financial advisor in town. Yeah. It's just be interested in them and allow them to be interesting in you. That's the biggest difference.
I think you have to be interesting a little bit. One more time. But you do have to be interesting to attract people, the right kind of people, that attractive leader type of approach.
Would you say, though, everybody's interesting to the right people that are interested in them?
Yes. Yeah. But do they show it?
Ooh, okay.
Do they show it?
That's a really good point. Great point. Because so many people don't show because they're afraid of being judged.
Right.
Or they're afraid of, hey, if I show my true self, what if he doesn't like me?
Right.
What if she doesn't like me? Am I going to lose out on the opportunity of trying to win their business?
Right.
But I've got what's made me really successful in my mortgage career is a very simple thing where I work with, it's my Saturday golf message. If I'm watching golf on the couch on Saturday and a realtor calls me, do I want to pause the TV and answer the call, or do I want to send them to voicemail? If I want to send them to voicemail, I'm not even going to prospect them. Do I want to do life with them, in other words?
Yeah.
And I think if you keep prospecting to people that you want to do life with, like knowing that you're a golfer, I want to take you out to Merida or go play wherever you want to go play, and I want to do life with someone, but you've got to be in their life for them to want to do life with you.
You remind me of Steve Sims and his beard test. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember? Do you know Steve Sims?
I know.
He just passed away.
Just passed away. I've never met him. I've followed him on social. I've read it. I think he also read one of his books or articles.
Yeah, he has a test called the chug test.
Okay.
If you see somebody walking or somebody you might know, would you chug a beer with them? It's kind of his quick version of it. Funny you say that. I saw his book years ago online because somebody recommended it, and I did exactly what you did. I messaged him and said, dude, I love your book. I loved his book. Come talk to our company at our company rally. And I made a friendship with him.
Awesome.
Same thing. You just reach out to people. They might say no.
Yeah.
But he said yes. And I got to know him that way.
I was talking to my oldest son. I've got a 19-year-old at Arkansas and an 18-year-old at Baylor. And I was talking to him over this last week. I was sharing with him. I said, he goes, Dad, why do you read so much? I said, I read a book a week. And I've read a book a week since 2012. And I said, because I get to meet some amazing people. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I started reading a book a week in 2012. But I started reaching out to the authors around 2015, 2016. I'm like, the picture in my office of me and Gary Vee. It's because I read his book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, and I reached out to Gary Vee. And me in my office with Dan Martell. It's because I read his book and reached out to him. And like these people became mentors over the years with Robert Kiyosaki and so on and so on. But when I read a book and when I approach a mentor, a future prospective mentor, when I read a book, I'm ADHD, I'm dyslexic, and I have dysgraphia. So when I read a book, I've got to listen to the audio and follow along on my finger.
Oh, both.
Both at the same time. If not, I won't digest.
That's a lot. Yeah.
If not, I won't digest.
That is a lot.
So when I read, like, say, Dan Martell's book or whoever's book, or let's say Robert Kiyosaki's book. So read his book, listen to the audio, and I've got my journal here to the right of it, and I have it lined down the middle. On the left half of the sheet of paper is asterisks, which are like ahas that I learned from the book. And then to the right side is like open boxes of things that I want to implement that I learned from the book. So then I break it down. I say, okay, hey, here are the things I want to implement next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And I highlight where it's like I've got a huge blind spot. I reach out to the author and I'm like, say, I read your book. Here are the ahas that I learned from your book. Here is what I want to implement reading from your book next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I would love 30 minutes of your time to jump on a Zoom to walk through where I feel I've got blind spots reading your book that I'd love to implement your teachings. A lot of times, I'd probably say 60, 70% of the times, they give you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Some tell you to go fly a kite. Some say, hey, cut me a check for 10 grand, whatever it is. But it's a really awesome feeling to be able to really study a book that you really read and then be able to actually bring it to life, but have the mentor of the author, the one that helps.
I love this. Have you broken this down for people before?
I have. It's actually, I wrote it in my book. But I think it's a model.
This is really important, actually, what you're saying. I think people miss it a lot because people read the book and they don't take the time to take those notes. And then you get through it, but you don't remember it all. And then you have a feeling and you're motivated, but you don't know what to do. I'm guilty of that as much as anything. I like to go walk and listen to books. Probably the same type of books you do, but I don't always take notes. I've learned to do it while I'm walking and pausing it and taking notes for those action items. But I listened or read a lot of books, but didn't take the action on it early on.
To me, it was Eric Thomas. He's called the hip hop preacher. He's like a big YouTube social media guy. ET. And it was like 2011, 2012. I went to a conference of his and he said, raise your hand if you like to read. So I raised my hand and he goes, all right, raise your hand if you read more than 5 books a year. I'm like, huge ego. I raised both hands. He goes, raise it if it's more than 10, more than 15. So I stand up, and this is where like he truly humbled me. I stand up, I'm like, yeah, I've read 16 books this year. Everybody's applauding. He goes, yeah, come up to the front. So I come up to the front, and ET goes, great, here's the mic. Tell us all the 16 things that you implemented from reading your reading 16 books. I'm like, Is this thing working? Is
Yeah,
this thing,
exactly.
I'm like tail between my legs, walking back to my chair. And I realized at that moment, I'm like, thank you for embarrassing me. Thank you for humbling me. But most importantly, thank you for teaching me the lesson.
Yeah.
There's no point of reading, gaining knowledge if you don't implement.
Yeah.
That was the game changer for me.
Yeah. I love reaching out to the authors too. I do that. You do it. I like your approach.
I think to me, like when you reach out to an author, you're talking to them about their life's work.
Yeah.
No one writes a book where it's like just junk. Everybody writes a book, especially the top authors. Like, here's why I want to impact the next generation. And when you can compliment them by showing how you studied how their life's work is impacting you, they will go to like the ends of the earth to help you.
I wonder how many people do that. You wrote a book. How many people reach out to you like this in your way?
I'd say maybe less than like 15. Like I told the second, 91,000 copies sold, 16,000 copies in the first week. I'd probably say less than 50. But the 50 that do, or the 20 that I've really gotten close to, like I will bend over backwards to help them.
Yeah.
I've given away courses of thousands of dollars. I've done free one-on-one coaching with them because how much they showed that they wanted to improve.
Yeah.
You'll appreciate this. In my book, I say, hey, I'm absolutely a golf junkie. If anybody knows a member at Augusta that can get me on, I'll come out and coach you for free. And I got one person reached out to me and he goes, hey, I'd love for you to coach me. I don't know a member at Augusta, but will Pine Valley do? Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That doesn't
stink. Another one was, hey, I can't get you on Augusta, but I've got a great member at Peachtree, which is right next door to Augusta, and come play out here in Georgia. And I got a chance to play with them, and the Peachtree member was also a member at Augusta.
I love that.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, I would never get these freaking opportunities if I didn't put my life's work out there, or these mentees weren't brave enough to reach out to me.
Yeah. I mean, you went big on a book and you put your life's work out there. Go back to our first conversation. I think there's people afraid to make a 60-second video and just be who they are. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a challenge for a lot of people. And if I had that challenge, I wouldn't be here today because you wouldn't have attracted and connected with me, you know? And I think that's all the way back to the beginning. How do we get more people to just let go of that fear sometimes?
What's funny, my wife really dislikes when she hears someone say something bad about me. And I tell her all the time, like, I've won a lot. I've done tens of thousands of mortgages and hundreds of millions of dollars in loans. For me to win, somebody else has to lose, right? You only have one loan officer on the loan, right? So if there is one loan that I won, somebody else lost. And I said, if I've won so much at DFW and done hundreds of millions of dollars in a year, other people have lost. So that means that I'm going to have people that are going to dislike me. But I think when the difference is, it was old Steve Jobs quote, super simple, but it meant a lot to me. He said, if you want to be liked by everyone, go sell ice cream. And when I read that, it really gave me so much bravery. Like, okay, it's okay if you don't like me, but I won and I provided for my family. It's okay if I make a 60-second reel and no one likes it because I won and I'm providing for my family.
Yeah.
And there's a great buddy that his name is Palmer Holland. He made a comment this morning on my Facebook Live. He's like, dude, like 2012, 2013, you were doing more loans than like the top loan officers in the nation. What made you want to keep climbing to the next level, next level, next level? And he was talking about my climb in like 2013. I was doing $36 million in fundings, but by 2015, I was doing over $100 million in fundings, and all purchase market business, all self-sourced. And I said, the biggest thing was that I've got a 19-year-old and an 18-year-old back home that I don't want to disappoint. I've got a wife that I don't want to disappoint. I'd rather go get rejected by a realtor or rejected by a borrower, but get accepted by my wife and kids.
Right.
And that's where I think the bravery comes from, of being able to post something and knowing that no one's going to like it.
Or make a sales call and learn that rejection isn't as bad as your rejection at home. I like how you framed that. I don't know if people have framed it that way. Yeah. And really thought about it.
What do you think the mindset shift that they need to have to learn to frame it that way is?
They got to think about it a little bit and figure out how bad they want it, I think is it. And do you want it more than you want not having it? Yeah. Really? It's that simple.
I'm a huge Hermosi fan, and I'm sure you are too, but he had a reel and talked about if anybody knew all the pitfalls of success, all the failures of success, all the downfalls of being lied to, stolen from, no one would try to be successful.
Yeah, it's probably true.
If you think about that, like if you,
it's very difficult.
It's almost to understand that you're going to get punched in the face, kicked in the gut daily, and daily. Knowing that going in, anybody with half a brain is going to say no to it.
Yeah.
But you've got to accept that and know on the other side is your goals. Your other side is your legacy. And the other side is like your purpose.
And you got to turn that negativity into your fuel.
Yeah.
I think that's key, actually. Sometimes if somebody tells you no or don't like you or whatever the thing is, doubts you, that can be your biggest fuel to not have you keep going sometimes. It's been for me certain times. Yeah.
Well, give us an example.
Big, just recently, probably one of the attractions, I just climbed Kilimanjaro, right? That was like a big thing. And the day I left, Sean Broussard, the owner of my company, I don't know if you know Sean.
I met him once. We're at dinner once, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, we have the same birthday. We have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
November 19th.
How funny.
But no, great guy.
He's a great guy. I've worked with him for 16 years.
Oh, sweet.
We're really close.
Nice.
He knows me. Literally the day I'm leaving, my flight's at 10 p.m. I'm in meetings here. And he pulls me aside and says, "Hey, I know I probably should be going with you." He's the one that actually planted the seed in my head 10 years ago to say, "Let's go." And he puts his arm around me. He goes, "Hey, you really put yourself out there. You told everybody you're going to make it to the top. If you don't, you don't have to tell everybody. You can just say, I climbed Kilimanjaro."
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not what anybody else has told me.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is cheering me on. And now he wasn't hating on me, but he gave me this hall pass. And the summit night's the big challenge. You go up 4,300 feet all through the night. So we started at 11 p.m. and I got there at 7:30 in the morning. So it's significant, very challenging.
Is there a reason why you hike at night?
2 reasons. Well, one, it's pretty to be at the sunrise at the top.
Okay, awesome.
And then when you get down, they tell you the other reason is it's so daunting and it looks so high that a lot of people quit when you can see it. But when you can't see it, you just keep going. But they don't tell you that ahead of time.
Brilliant.
So I thought that was interesting, but it was challenging and daunting. But anyway, in the middle of the night, I had a lot of stories in my head ready in case I felt like I wanted to quit or whatever. But the only story that mattered was Sean saying, "In case you don't make it." And I was like, screw you, dude. I'm making it just because I don't ever want to feel that way. And that was it was like my anger motivator. I didn't know that was going to be the thing. It just came to me that night. And I was like, no, I'm making it. But sometimes the hate is good.
Yeah.
If you let it for a good way.
Go a little more detail because I'm not sure everybody knows where Kilimanjaro is. So where is
Kilimanjaro? Oh, yeah. It's in Tanzania, Africa.
Okay.
Right. So the trip there was 15 hours to Doha, Qatar, and then 6 hours south to Africa.
Okay.
So it was a significant flight, a lot of time. We got there. We kind of had a little time to acclimate for 2 days and then 7 days of climbing. 7-day trek.
I mean, I don't know if you got a Whoop or something on, but how many steps do you think you did per day or how many?
I don't know my steps. I didn't track it. It was about 52 miles,
A day?
No, total. The 7 days.
Okay.
It's kind of all broken up because you're acclimating. It's 19,340 feet. So it's significantly high. So you have to go up and in the day hike up and sleep at a lower altitude and go up and sleep, and you kind of acclimate your way up. I don't know. I didn't track my steps. You don't have electricity and you only have your power banks. So you don't turn all your devices on the same. I didn't. Some people did. I didn't care. I just wanted to go.
All right. So let's rewind though, because I think this is super interesting. That's probably one of the things I want to talk about. And then we're going to dig into golf.
Yeah, sure.
But how'd you train? Because obviously you didn't wake up like, hey, I'm going to go do this next week.
So I'll give you my first story. It's kind of interesting since we're talking about books. A friend of mine calls me and says, you should read this book, The 12-Hour Walk by Colin O'Brady. This book was amazing. I read it maybe last year in March. It challenges you to walk out your front door and walk for 12 hours. No music,
I'm gonna download
it's a great book.
I'm downloading
You'll really enjoy it. He kind of came up with this during the pandemic. He was struggling at the time mentally. So it's kind of like a 12-hour meditation walk, if you will.
Okay.
And so I read the book. I tell my wife, hey, this weekend I'm walking 12 hours. I'm doing this thing. She's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, it's what I've read in this book. I left at 5:30 in the morning and I walked till 5:30 at night. I went almost 30 miles. And mind you, it's really not about how far you go. It's just, you just kind of keep going. I took 17 pages of notes in my phone just off voice. I took some videos, and I literally walked. I live in Trophy Club. I went to South Lake, to Grapevine, out to the lake. I just kept going, like Forrest Gump a little bit, you know. But what I thought about, one of the main things is I'm turning 50. I want to do something significant. For 10 years, I've had this idea of Kilimanjaro. This might be the time.
Yeah.
And so that's how I ended up kind of saying, let's do this. He said, how did you train? I literally started, I was like, okay, I don't know. Like, my fitness isn't at the level it needs to be.
Okay.
And so I saw an ad on Instagram for a gym called Conquer Fitness that just opened a mile from my house.
Okay.
So I messaged him on Instagram. I said, hey, I'm interested. Here's what I'm trying to do. I joined. I went up there and joined. I was the second person to join the gym. They just opened. And I started training 3 days a week. It's semi-private. So they put a workout for you, and then they're in there. So I kind of customized some things, and I started going 3 times a week. And then I put together a running, hiking plan and started just going on the weekends.
Awesome.
And training, knowing that I have this big goal.
So when you trained, what were you trying to train for? Is breathing technique? Was it certain miles per hour that you're trying to do?
No, because you're not racing. There's a significant amount of people with you. There's 40 porters carrying gear, 5 guides. There was 11 hikers. I joined a group climb. And it's not about the speed or anything. It's just about your endurance and then the altitude, which is really hard to train. Everything I read said going to altitude is the only way to train for altitude. That's the best way. So
you would have had to go to Colorado or something.
Yeah, I mean, I did twice, but I only went to like 9,000 or 10,000 feet. Not enough. I went actually skiing up to about pretty high, 14 or 15 almost, in France, which was cool. My son's a ski instructor, so that's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
So just being in altitude helps. But all I was trying to do, like lots of step ups, lots of lunges, lots of squats, anything legs, because you're going to hike up.
Yeah,
constantly. And then you're also going to be carrying some gear, so you want to have upper body strength.
Yeah.
So I just put a routine. I have full body workout 3 days a week. I'm still doing it. I went this morning.
How much weight do you think you carry?
Not too much. 20 pounds, 25 pounds. You're carrying 4 to 5 liters of water plus, that's your big heaviest weight. Rain gear, snacks, just stuff for the day. They make your food. They set up your tent. There's a separate bag that a porter carries, which is nice.
Oh my God.
So and so it's kind of a luxury version of hike, know. But you have a whole support network of people.
All right. So mentally, was there any point you wanted to quit? Was there any point you were like, dude, I can't do this anymore?
Not the time that you get tested is the summit night.
Okay.
So, you're going and it's relentlessly uphill. Every video I watched on YouTube felt like it was a little bit more of a hike, but it was a little bit more of a climb as far as uphill than I anticipated. I was ready for it. I never wanted to quit, but the moment you think about it is the summit night. When you're going all through the night with your headlamp on in the dark, 4,300 feet, and when you're at 17, 18, 19,000 feet, your body shuts down. Like you have 50% oxygen. The guy that went with me, his hobby is motorcycles. He goes to Colorado. So for example, he goes, I feel like my motorcycle at 12,000 feet, whatever 300 cc's motorcycle is, he goes, I have half the power. So a machine only has half the power at 12,000 feet. Okay. He's like, we're at 17 or 18. He goes, I feel like my motorcycle, I have half the power. I can't really explain it. You just can't move. You don't, really? Your body doesn't have the power, the energy, whatever it is. I didn't hurt necessarily, but it was all in your breathing, right? Like when you're close to the top, if there's like a couple step up on some rocks, I literally would look at it and go, when I have to do that, I'm going to have to stop and take a deep breath. That's how it was getting me. Like I just didn't have energy.
You see like pro cyclists, they've got like this, they're on this machine and they're cycling and they've got this mask on and they're like, and allegedly, I don't know much about it, but I'm sure my gut tells me it's something like it decreases the amount of oxygen that you receive, which makes it harder to breathe, which makes your lungs stronger.
Yeah, probably would help if I'd have done stuff like that. But, I didn't. But yeah, that's what they're training for. Exactly that. We're at around 50% oxygen. Every morning and every night, they were checking oxygen levels and your heart rates and all that stuff. And as you kept going up, your oxygen levels were dropping. So you could see it in all your tests.
I bet if you and I grabbed a COVID mask and walked with
Yeah.
a COVID mask, it'd be probably similar.
It would be similar for sure, but not the same at 19,000. Like it was tough. And we had 11 climbers with us. It was hard for all of us.
Okay.
A couple of them were younger, looked a little bit easier for them.
Did it really?
Yeah, I do. I think they were in better shape or just whatever. And then we had in our group, there's a 60% chance you'll acclimate and make it, which we exceeded that for a 7-day climb on the Lemosho route, which we did. We had 10 out of 11 make it. A couple of them barely. I mean,
really,
it took some support to get them.
So, I mean, we can talk about this for days, but so does some like people, a white towel and like I'm done. Like, how do you get back down?
Yeah, coming down is hard. It's a different route down. It's very steep. They call it sand skiing, and you have your poles, and it's almost like skiing where you kind of dig your heels in sideways and you just kind of go with the flow down. It's just every one of us, including the guides, probably fell back at least once. It's not scary, but it's just fast, and you're tired. I mean, literally, you went all night. You have less oxygen. Now you got to go down, and your legs start hurting because of the pressure. But the reason you don't make it really is, first of all, the altitude gets you. Like one of the people that didn't make it was, they just got altitude sickness. And then it sets in. Like
you just like get throw up. And
you get headaches, start throwing up. Hers kind of became an emergency. They had to pump oxygen in her and get her down. You know, it got pretty serious.
Should you carry down? Does she have to like?
They put 2 porters locked arms and walked her down. They have these sleds that they try to take you down, so they're prepared.
Yeah.
But it's too high for helicopters, so they got to get you down to where a helicopter could get there.
Okay.
And so they were prepared for it. The guides are amazing. Like,
oh really?
They all the 5 guides mountain biked up this thing. It made me feel like insignificant, you know. But to kind of frame how you feel, like I had a lot of pride in training and getting up there. And there was a point where you get to the top of the volcano, and you're on a glacier for about an hour to the top point called Uru Peak. And there's a point I was walking on that glacier. You have a porter assigned to you. It's a person that just goes with you, and they watch you and help you.
Caddy.
Yeah, exactly, like your caddy. And there was a point I stopped because our group kind of stopped, and I was just sitting there. My hands were down, and my nose was just running uncontrollably. I was coughing a little bit. It's cold. It was -5. And
so lack of oxygen, elevation, and it's cold.
Exactly. And so Aristo was my porter. He had taken some toilet paper out, and he was handing it to me to wipe my nose because it was pretty bad. And I just kept standing there. So he just wiped my nose. And I was like, I literally thought I've lost all my dignity. I don't want anybody wiping my nose. But I also thought, this is awesome because I really don't care right now. Like I just felt like spent.
Yeah.
And the fact that I let him wipe my nose was kind of like, that's how I felt. Like I'm exhausted. I think that was telling for me. That's just explains how much effort that you put into that climb. So it means a lot, you know, because you do that much.
So when is your 50th?
It was in October last year. I'm 50 right now.
Okay.
I turned 51 October 14th.
Okay.
And I say that because talking about putting things out there, I've signed up to run a 50K trail run October 11th to try my best to get through 50K while I'm 50.
Ooh,
which
that's kind of cool.
The most I've ever ran in a race is a 5K, and so I'm in better shape. I think I can get it done.
You think you can run it? You can play 50 holes of golf in one day?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I can do it.
I mean,
as long as there's enough sunlight.
Add that to your list.
I could do it. I think what's different for me is this type of full body working out has made me feel like I played 36 a couple weekends with my son.
Nice.
Before working out, I would be sore and it would hurt. And, you know, not now. Like I feel good. I feel strong. And so the workouts have helped me. Running, whole different animal. This is fast and really challenging. I'll get there. I'll make it. Now, I'm not going to set the record. Everybody else might beat me. I really don't care.
Yeah.
As long as I get through that finish line before they take it down and go home at 5 p.m., I'm think it's awesome. That's the minimum distance to say you're ultra marathon runner.
Really?
Is a 50K. So I thought that's
How
cool.
many hours do you think that's going to be?
For me, it'd probably be like 9, maybe 8.5. It's going to be long.
Okay.
It's going to be long.
Pace yourself. It's not a...
Yeah. I mean,
get
I'm
that
just
it's
not a runner. Like, I can't really, I'm just not a runner.
Yeah.
I went 10.5 miles Sunday to get a gauge of where I'm at. And I averaged 16.5 miles running and walking. So I'm like, I can improve on that in the next 2 months a little bit.
Yeah.
I can make it. It's doable.
Well, it's what I love and hope the listeners are understanding is like you do a really great job at taking something so big, something so like intimidating, and breaking it down in bite-sized pieces.
Oh yeah.
And then once you do the bite-sized pieces, you're building a momentum. You're building up the strength. Yeah. You're building up the skills. And you realize, you look back like, holy crap, I'm so far further ahead than where I was before. Yeah. So how do you relate that in mortgage? How do you relate that in business? That same lessons that you do in the way that you systematically attack something big, how do you relate that where a loan officer can really like, okay, this is on.
Yeah, I think it seems like lately social media posting and engaging and direct messaging is kind of a lot of my conversations. Okay. Like, how do I get business today? That's a lot of engagement. Just like we talked about, how do you connect with people? If you're not really doing social media and direct messaging people, you got to start somewhere with, picking, I'm going to post 2 times a week and send a couple messages a day or something small that seems obtainable. And then you've got to figure out, like in my style, I kind of just jump in. Like I did the 12-hour walk the next Saturday and just figured it out. I've told this story quite a few times and a lot of people said they'll do it. Very few people actually do it because they have a lot of excuses. I would say in my style, maybe once you kind of get a rhythm and you kind of know how to do it, maybe pick a month and say, let's do a massive blitz and see what you're capable of. Kind of like my run this weekend. I wanted to get a baseline. I don't really run, but I went almost 11 miles, which is a long way.
Yeah.
And so now I kind of know, like, okay, now I know where I'm at. What if you posted 5 times a day and direct messages 5 to 10 people a day and then see what you learn? And then now you've just went from, okay, I figured it out to, wow, now I can do this. It feels easy.
Yeah.
Like for me, going on a 3-mile walk is nothing now. But used to, if I did that, I'd be like, wow, I really went somewhere today. Now I'm like, I'm barely getting started. It changes your perspective of what you're capable of. But you got to go out and put that big goal out and try something, really put yourself out there and commit to it for a while.
That's awesome. I think what's great about that is the bravery that it takes, but also the courage of understanding of how to believe in yourself. I've learned a ton of quotes over my lifetime about this, probably 3 or 4 that really changed my life. And this is one of them. It said, I am not what I think I am. I am not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. And
that's good. I like that.
When I heard that, I'm like, holy crap. I'm acting how I think you perceive me instead of how you really perceive me. And I should be only acting how I perceive myself.
Yeah.
I should only be like judging myself, not me concocting this idea of like, how do you think of me and how are you judging me?
Right.
And I think that's where I get a lot of my bravery of, hey man, you post all the time, you post about your losses or whatever. And a silly post, but it was a simple post I posted yesterday saying, hey, I made a goal that I'm going to walk 10,000 steps for 100 days. And I dropped the ball Monday night.
Yeah.
And it was like 10:30. I get in bed and I'm like, holy crap, darn it, man. Like I gotta get up. I'm like, and I realized, okay, I gotta start up.
Yeah.
I broke my commitment to myself.
Right.
And then now I've got to recommit to myself, and then I'm going to recommit. I'm going to do 100 steps or at that 10,000 steps a day for 100 days, but it's okay. Get back on the horse.
Sure. How would you feel today if you would have got up and did it? Like, that's an interesting thought, though.
Yeah.
What if you would have went and got the 10,000 in last night before midnight?
Yeah.
Would it have changed anything for you?
It would have been a level of pride because I just got off doing 100 push-ups.
Yeah, I saw
days.
That. That's cool, actually.
That was, the first week and a half felt energized. Week 3, week 4, week 5, dude, my shoulders were in so much pain. My chest, I'm like so afraid. I'm 46, so you're a hair older than me. I'm so afraid of like tearing a bicep or tearing a pec or something.
Yeah.
But I pushed through and I pushed through and I pushed through and I was so proud of like how my body developed.
Right. But
more importantly, how resilient I became. Earlier this year, I was doing 100 cold plunges for 100 days.
Okay.
And so it was 5-minute cold plunge, 48 degrees. And now I do it in the morning, a cold plunge in the morning, and now I do it also at night. So
Because it doesn't seem that big anymore, right?
It's not that hard
That's
anymore,
the point.
Right? A friend and his wife were over at the house about 2 months ago. And the wife asked me, she goes, I follow you on social. Why do you do so many hard things?
Yeah.
So that's exactly it, because they're hard.
Yeah.
And when I do hard things, life becomes easy.
Yeah.
When I try to do easy things, life becomes hard.
Yeah. That's it. That's my main reason to do Kilimanjaro, was because it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And I wasn't taking my health as serious as I needed to. And I knew it was going to be really difficult. Same thing. The reason I asked you about your steps is because I made this plan to run this 50K. And last night I was with my family and I needed to run 3 miles last night. And I didn't want to.
No.
And I did it. I went out at 9:00 last night and I did my 3 miles. And my goal was 16 minutes. I did it in 15. And I felt really good that I did it.
Yeah.
And it just sucked. I told my daughter, I went right before I left, I went in her room. I said, hey, you know what sucks? Accountability.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I got to go run, because her boyfriend is doing the 50K with me.
Okay.
So I wanted to get that message to him through her.
Well, I think also when you put it out in the universe, like, at least I'll speak for myself, when I put it out on social, hey, I'm going to do 100 days in a row of X or whatever the case is, I am asking for public accountability.
Yeah.
And if I put myself out there and I put public accountability, like my post I made this last night about it, I woke up this morning, there's like 2-3 messages. Hey, I'm going to commit to doing it with you. Can you be my accountability partner? And like the bonding and the friendship and the mentorship and the fellowship of other human beings.
Yep, that's it.
Now you've got a tribe on social media. Now you've got a community on social media.
Right.
Well, as a loan officer, all those people need mortgages.
Exactly.
As an owner,
I love that.
As an owner of a mortgage company, most of my friends on social are loan officers. And when they see how different you are and how self-accountable and how self-disciplined you are, it's a huge attraction.
Yeah, big attraction. I also think I was playing golf. Go back to golf Saturday morning. This Saturday is my neighbor. Actually, he's in a whole different industry. I was like, here's my next crazy thing. I'm going to try to 50K trail run. He immediately goes, look, science says you shouldn't be running after 40 years old and you're going to do this and that. And I was like, noted. That's my energy. That's my angry moment. Like I'm running, you're giving me fuel to make sure I get through this, just to prove. I'll never go tell him anything, but it's like the fact that you're doubting me, actually, I like it. Like, fine. Now you're saying don't do it and you're probably going to get hurt. You got to gauge that within reason. But
why is that? Meaning because like it was March 16th, 2024. I made a decision. Like I was drinking a lot. Okay. And I was drinking probably, at least daily. And like my wife and I would have a bottle of wine and she'd have a glass and she'd stop. I'm like, well, I can't let this bottle sit. So I'd finish the rest of the bottle and feel like crap the next day. And I went a week without drinking and I felt so much better. And this is like March 16th, 2024. And I called a buddy of mine. His name is David. He's in Austin. He's been a great mentor and a friend, but we're really competitive with each other. Yeah. And I said, hey, how many days have you gone without drinking? He goes, 100 days. I'm like, well, screw you. I'm going to go 101 days.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this like, screw you. I'm going to do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Attitude is. And I went 101 days. And my 19-year-old son goes, Dad, like, you're not going to go a year. I'm like, screw you. I'm going to go a year.
Yeah.
And before you know it, like I've not had a drink for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And like the amount of opportunities and energy and excitement that I've had on a daily basis and like health and focus and patience and ability to be able to want to grow is like 10x. But it all started from screw you.
Exactly.
I'm going to do the opposite.
I don't know why we're that way exactly sometimes. I don't think everybody's that way though.
I don't know if it's healthy, but
I know. I might not be.
It might not be.
There's my son has diagnosed defiance disorder. And so I think, it's like, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay.
When he was little, and as he grew up, it was like our little family joke. Wherever we wanted to eat dinner after church, we would tell him, we'd all come up with like, let's say this place first because he'll say no.
Oh.
And so, and it's like clockwork. He even knows it. It's just weird. And he's better and he's matured and all that. But there's something inside of certain people that it's almost like that's the trigger.
Have you ever done an Enneagram?
No.
It's like a
I know about
personality.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm an 8, and which is called the Challenger.
Okay.
And I just love not necessarily picking on people, but I love like asking questions for you to self-discover something.
Yeah.
I absolutely love doing that. And I can see myself being like your son, like just saying no for the sake
Yeah.
of like saying
He'll
no.
say no, and then he'll think about it. Maybe he shouldn't have, but that's how he is. It's crazy.
All right. So this is allegedly a mortgage podcast.
Yep.
So what's your mortgage career kind of been like?
My career started, in 1996.
Okay.
I was in call centers, kind of did that for a while. Wanted to be a real loan officer, started chasing realtors and doing that type of thing and partnering with them. I lived in Phoenix for 4 or 5 years in like 2000 or 99 to 2004 or 5. The home was here, came back here and started producing, growing a branch, turned into multiple branches.
Wow.
Right now, basically have about 40 loan officers, 45 loan officers, that type of thing. And there's, you have pivotal moments along the way. For me, I was producing branch, regional type, and I couldn't do it all. And so at one point I made a decision to kind of go toward the leadership path and the coaching. And I've kind of been doing that now for like, I've been at Service First 16 years. So that's kind of my journey I've been on with them. And coming on board with them was during the mortgage meltdown. So February of 2009.
Oh, wow.
I came on with Sean, maybe 10 million a month or 15 in retail. We're due 120 this month, So just looking back, going through that journey with him and the team, that's just where I find myself today is I do, coaching, recruiting. Yeah. I haven't self-produced in quite a few years.
Yeah.
I still always tell people I do mortgages. I just work with the team, just like we all do,
So like if anybody's listening to the show and they've got an interest in wanting to join your company, what do you look for in a loan officer?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I've been getting clarity on the avatar of who would I want to bring on our team right now. And I think what I'm looking for is the person that they're newer in the business. I want to get younger. I want to get younger into our industry, like younger not new in the business, but a newer in the business, maybe 5 years, some kind of layers of management, but they don't feel supported. They're kind of lost. They want to come in and see some transparency, understand how this business works and really engage in a different way. That type of person, self-generated business, it's very specific, I guess, but that's kind of what I've been thinking.
You have a minimum volume that you want to be around?
I've been targeting people from 20 to 50 million. So, that's kind of my target I've been working at. You look at everybody and try to figure out, what their potential is and where they've been. But that's just what I'm working at right now. So very specifically.
Okay.
So
that's pretty neat. So what do you coach on? Kind of elaborate on that.
Well, I like to say you got to meet people where they're at. So first is you have to understand the person, understand what makes them tick, where they're trying to go, kind of dream together a little bit first, and say, where would you like to be? I've had the privilege, I guess, I feel like, to have built and be part of some really large teams. Yeah. You probably know some of our people, but a couple of, mega producers. And so I've had my hands in the middle of all that. So I can probably have at least experience to build a team of a couple 100 million, probably as our 150 million, probably is our biggest we've built. So I feel like I can at least relate and help somebody get to a point through my personal experience and my journey, depending on where they want to go. And then through that, it's all the tools, resources, plans, business plans, life plans, team structures that we've built into these teams we apply.
Yeah.
It's very custom, I guess, if you will. I don't have a playbook of this is my generic one. I haven't written the book yet. I want to write a book.
Okay.
I'm right on the brink of feeling like I have a story to really, I think it makes that big impact.
So, I only have a 2-word question for you.
Yeah.
By when?
Yeah. It feels daunting to write the book. I'm still kind of putting my story together. I have a deadline of a couple keynotes in October that's kind of helping me. I would love to do it by the end of next year. I think that's doable. I don't know.
You get any help writing it?
I need help from everybody. I'm not going to lie. I'm not ashamed,
No,
I don't know. I really don't know yet. I have a good friend of mine, Baylor Barbie. Do you know him? He lives here. He's written a couple books. He speaks a lot of mortgage stuff.
Oh, does he? Okay.
He just had a book come out called No One Prays for the Lion. And so I've met with him a couple times where he's kind of talking me through how he's processed writing his books. And he's kind of been in my ear for about a year and a half of kind of keeping notes and keeping stories. And I started just putting a newsletter on LinkedIn for my own sake of developing stories. Like maybe other people would benefit, but ultimately I'm writing these to like think through things and put stories together to try to figure out where exactly my book is. I'm the type of guy, when I see the vision, it's right there, I'll go do it. And I know I'm close. I just haven't got it honed in yet. So
it's interesting because I wanted to write a book for 10 years plus. And you realize like the book came out October of 23. And I started writing it on my own, like end of 22. And that's when I retired from origination. And I was writing the book and I got like 20,000 words maybe into it. And I realized like I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just writing for the sake of writing. And it just felt like it was kind of this blah. So I went to a coach and I hired a ghost author. Mm-hmm. And me and this ghost author, literally we met for an hour a week. But we spent probably 6 to 8 weeks just on the table of contents. And once you realize like the table of contents, like it's like the roadmap navigation system. It's like the Bible. It's the most important thing remotely about any section. Then he coached me on, and I had this in my home office. He goes, okay, how many chapters do you have? Let's say you have 12 chapters. And so put up a whiteboard, like a white sheet of paper, like a big sheet of paper, like 4 feet by 3 feet on each wall, but put 12 of them up. So I had those up in my home office. When I had that up, I broke down, okay, so this is the topic of this chapter, whatever the chapter name is.
Right.
And I would just walk in there and I start writing different things. Or I'd go through my phone or I'd go through my different manuals that I had at work or different podcasts I've done. And I would put those topics in each one of those sections. So when I organized it that way, it made it so easy to fill up each one of the chapters with wisdom that I've had or advice or successes or whatever that I've had over the years. But it all started with table of context. Yeah. But once I had the table of context, it was so easy. Not easy. It was easier to be able to pump in the information in each one of the chapters. And then it was awesome because when I sat down with the ghost author, he helped me, gave him all these engineer type of things in this chapter. And he goes, okay, we're going to make a story around this. This is how we're going to build this story. This is how we're going to make it exciting. And it's such a very easy book to read because it was very storytelling and was structured in a way that each chapter built on the next chapter and built on the next chapter.
I love that. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you know your purpose of your book before you started? Like, what's the end goal? What's the purpose of this book?
Freedom. Yeah. I mean, Jocko is a big mentor of mine over the years, and he wrote the book Discipline Equals Freedom. Yeah. And it was, being financially independent by the age of 39 and owning more rental income than I had in like personal income, and building a mortgage business that was most people's mortgage income is earned income. And now I built a mortgage team that my income is residual income from the team. And like, that's unheard of in the mortgage space. People turn 65 and they have no retirement plan. Right. But being able to retire, in their early 40s and have, millions in income from the succession plan that I built, plus the real estate. And then also on top of that, how did I build the 6-lane highway where, most loan officers I call them additional loan officers. They go to a realtor, they get a referral, and they go back to the realtor, ask for a referral. What I teach is how to be a multiplier loan officer. You go to a realtor, you get the same referral, but you turn around, you refer it out to a CPA, a financial advisor, a family will attorney, insurance agent. At minimum, you'll get 2 referrals back. So you turn 1 commission into 3 commissions. And that's becoming a multiplier loan officer. So that gives you the freedom. Everything was geared to freedom. I mean, the book is called 24/7 Mindset, and most people think of 24/7 Mindset as 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But no, it's 24 hours a week, 7 months a year.
Right.
While you still get paid residually from your business 24 hours a week, 7 months a year. And like being able to teach somebody how to build residual income in their business, it equals one simple word: freedom.
Freedom.
I wanted to give loan officers freedom. Mm-hmm. So that every chapter, every portion, every free handout, every portion of the academy was me sharing the tools and the systems that I used over my career of how to create freedom in my mortgage business.
Yeah, that's great. I think that there's something I offer the world that's interesting enough that people often will take notes or write down or ask me about later. I have a story inside of me that's significant.
Yeah.
But I haven't had the clarity to say, this is why I want to do this. I haven't had that moment of like, this is it. And I don't think that's really bad or good. I just...
You know Rene Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Amplify.
Yeah.
I was doing one of his Amplify events, and he had just written his book, and mine was Wall Street Journal bestseller. His was above that at New York Times bestseller. It's like the big dog one. And I asked him, I was going through it, and then he shared his manifest with me, and he shared about the importance of like the table of context. And then he referred me to a friend that was a coach around that, and who he hired to coach him through it. It was pretty neat to see somebody that I think super highly of in Rene, that if this dude gets coaching of how to write his book, like I'm an idiot if I don't get a coach.
Of course.
Like if I'm trying to work out and becoming better fit, I'm going to have a trainer. Yeah. If I need to eat healthy, I'm going to have a nutritionist. Why the heck don't I have a book coach that's coaching me through of how to bring this to life?
It makes sense.
And what was super cool about it is the coach that was coaching me through this, he had access to the publishers. He had access to the editors. Yeah. He had access to people that we hired to do the front cover, the back bio, like all these different things that I would have never figured out. And I think the challenge with most people that want to write a book that they never end up writing a book is because there's so many steps it takes to get a book out.
It feels daunting.
There's no difference between a loan officer who's doing $10 million a year right now that wants to do $100 million. There's so many steps.
Feels daunting.
But if you have a mentor and a coach like yourself helping them guide him through, you can show that. And I mean, you guys got some big heavy hitters. I mean, obviously Stephanie Johnson is like phenomenal. Great friend over the years. Sure. She's come to a couple of my masterminds, live events, and she was at my house a month or two ago at a dinner party that I had, and it was really great to kind of get to know her. And then obviously you got Pete, and it's funny, Pete and I were really great social media friends, kind of like you and I.
Yeah.
We're at a pizza place in Frisco, and he was like, "Hey, Wally." I'm like, "Dude, it's you."
Yeah, how funny is that?
Yeah.
He and I started in the business together in 1996.
Wow.
Like we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
But even Stephanie's journey, I mean, I literally talk to her every day. I work in her team with her.
On her team, okay.
And she didn't know a single realtor 10 or 12 years ago. She came out of Bank of America or whatever the call center. Good mortgage experience, high producer, not a single realtor.
Yeah.
And if you look at her journey, it's amazing.
She's awesome. I mean, her personal struggles.
Oh my gosh.
Like what she's worked through.
It's amazing.
Stephanie's awesome.
She's an inspiration, but man, it's you got to want it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think about her, is her desire to just want it so bad. It gets her through all the bumps because everybody has setbacks. She's had more than most people. Mm-hmm. And she is out achieving most everybody else in what she's doing.
Well, it's like she does a ton of business. And if anybody doesn't know Stephanie, you need to know Stephanie. But I remember it was, I was texting with her back and forth, and it was like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's probably family time." And she sent me a picture of her at the office still grinding.
Yeah.
And it's sitting there, I'm like, dude, you're like in the top of the game and you're still hustling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what most people don't understand is like, to get to the top of the mortgage game, you've got to build yourself to get to the top of the mortgage game. And when you get to the top of the mortgage game and you're built that way, like you just don't stop.
Never.
And I was about that Facebook post this morning, that live, and the guy goes, "Hey, if you're already here at Echelon top, I broke $100 million in 2017. I was like 38 years old. What made you want to go to 150 to 200 million and beyond from there?" And I said, like, when you build yourself to get to 100 million, like you're built. Like you can't just, when you're doing 100 miles an hour, you can't just stop.
Yeah.
The engine's built, the transmission's built, like every part of the car is built. And you're built to run a race. You just don't stop.
It makes me think, if a guy ran 100-mile race and you said, go run a 5K, he'd be like, why? Why would I do that? I can run a 100-mile race.
Yeah.
That's not a challenge, you know? Stephanie said something yesterday is kind of interesting. I was talking to her and we were talking about how in prospecting, it's hard to get people to answer the phone. I was kind of referencing this earlier. And they were at this round table and people were talking about how they made calls for an hour or something like that. She goes, "I don't think people understand. I make calls for 8 hours, like all day straight through my list of all my people. And I'm like, people don't understand.
Yeah.
They really don't, because they feel like they did try and they put that little effort in for that hour. I don't know what they did the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But she's right. To produce at that level, you have to play a lot bigger.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming up on the hour. So I guess what I want to do is I want to give you the closing thoughts. So I'm not going to give the closing thoughts. I want you to give the closing thoughts. Then if someone's really inspired by you that wants to be part of your world, where should they look you up, or how should they connect you?
No, I appreciate that. You can look me up on LinkedIn. That's my favorite spot. The John Donnelly. I'm pretty easy to find. Just connect with me there. The regular John Donnelly, he must have been taken. So I've stuck with that. But no, LinkedIn's a great place. I'll message you back. Connect with me there. I think about closing thoughts are one of the things we talked about today is don't overthink things. Just put yourself out there and do it. Don't be afraid to look bad. Don't be afraid to fail, because that's how you learn. If you think about it that way, if you have aspirations of doing something great, which a lot of people do, you've got to surround yourself with people that are going to help you. If you even thinking about in mortgage, it's obvious. You got to get with the right teams. You got to get with the right people. You got to get coaches. I had to do that climbing a mountain too. I had to get trainers and people. Like, I had to think through this whole thing just to get to the top of this mountain. And when I went there, I had 40 porters and 5 guides. It wasn't like
not by yourself.
I was by myself ever the whole time. And I think to do a large amount of production, you got to have that team around you supporting you all the way. Those are the things I think about from our conversation.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you so much for just responding to that message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for inviting me. This was fun.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Everybody have an awesome day. And if there's something that I can do to help, please drop in the comments below. Happy to help. And if you want to share your biggest nugget, biggest takeaway, drop in the comments below. All right. See you guys.
So thank you so much for listening today. It means a lot you took time out of your day. I don't take that lightly. Understand very clearly that you're very busy. With that being said, if you want to continue your journey and learn more about 24/7 Mindset, if you're on Facebook, which I'm going to guess you are, then go to 24/7 Mindset on Facebook and join the private community. I do coaching tips on there on a daily basis, but from scripts on there to systems on there, models, and the ability to be able to grow and scale a business while you have a quality of life. Hope to see you there.